Hey, what's up, walkers? How are you today? Brian from Snow Walker Outdoors. Hey, check this out. We're up in Lake Placid, home of the Winter Olympics. A lot of snow just fell just before we got here, about 2 feet. Heavy avalanche area. So we're going to take a look at some things that you may need to know before you go. Right now we're going to look at some equipment that you may want to take with you while you're in the backcountry. First thing we want to talk about is our shelter. The first shelter that we have is our clothing. So we want to have a wicking layer against our body because we're going to be exerting a lot of energy, expending a lot of calories, and we certainly don't want to sweat. If we sweat, we want that moisture to be transferred off our body, and we want it to go out to our outer layers. I like to wear tech wick or nice merino wool. Either or. I am a wool guy, you know that, but some of the new high-tech stuff for this is just perfect. Now let's look at our insulating layers. Insulating layers here. Here's a fleece. Here's a wool sweater. You may or may not be wearing that depending upon the conditions and how much you are actually working. Extra socks. We want to have at least 1 to 2 pairs of extra socks with us. Again, I like to roll with wool. So any of the merino wools or possibly the rag wool socks, anything that's going to help you change out your socks once they start to get wet, change them out and have a dry pair of socks, especially if you need to bivvy overnight. You can change your socks and they'll be nice and dry. A good pair of gloves, especially a heavier duty pair of gloves. These happen to be a nice gauntlet. Okay, so they go up. They also cinch off at the wrist as well. There's also a leash. I can put these over my arms and I won't lose my gloves. And of course my trademark Sherpa hats. I'm going to wear one. Once that one gets wet, I'm going to take it off. I'm going to put a dry one on, and then I'm going to dry the other one. You need some type of shell. It could be even just a single layer of Gore-Tex. If you start to encounter bad weather, you can at least put that on to help prevent from getting any more wet than you may already be. Okay? Shell layers. Last but not least, maybe you want a pair of sunglasses for your eyes. You can go snowblind out there, especially if you're looking at snow all day and you don't protect your eyes. So think about it, a good quality pair of sunglasses. If you wear a prescription, I hope they're transitions and I hope they darken up for you. Just saying, sunglasses. Let's take a look at some of the tools that we have as well. Here we want a backcountry shovel. Okay, small, usually made out of aluminum, and it's telescoping as well. And that's going to help us dig through the snow to either make a snow trench, make a quincy, dig us out, dig a friend out. We have our poles here. And what our poles are going to do is they're going to give us 4-wheel drive, and we'll talk about that later on while we're on a trail. But it's going to help us ascending and descending while we're walking, and it gives us stability, especially if we're carrying a heavier pack. The nice thing about these is these actually are adjustable. As you can see here, this is at full length. And as you can see now, this is collapsed down. If you don't need this pole, you can attach it to the side of your pack and you're good to go. What you can actually double up on these for is you can use these as your ridge pole for your shelters. You can actually use these as probes as well to dig down into the snow to see if maybe you can find your buddy. You can hand it off to your buddy and help pull him out. You could also use these to probe the snow to make sure there's no rocks or roots or anything like that if you have to dig down into it. So, good little tool to have if you don't have an avalanche probe. You can double up and use these for different things as well. You know what? Technical snowshoes when you're up in the mountains. I'm a traditional guy, but these are the way to go. You have to go with these. They lend you that stability with the crampons, traction, and much better bindings for you doing switchbacks and whatnot when you're climbing up to a summit. So you're going to have to go with a good pair of technical snowshoes as well. Again, they help with traction, and that's something that you want because of the slippery nature of the trails that we're going to be on. Whether some of them are glazed over with ice, they could be slushy as well, and it really just depends on the conditions of the trail. It also prevents us from post-holing. We don't want to post-hole because, one, it makes the trails intolerable for other people, especially if they're skiing or snowshoeing. Two, it prevents injury because as you post-hole, you may actually wind up pulling muscles while you're trying to get out, or you may fall, or you may twist a foot while you're trying to get out of that hole that you've just walked into. Three, by not post-holing and walking above the snow surface, you're not expending as many calories as you would if you were trying to walk through thigh-high deep snow, which some of these trails can have when you're in the backcountry. Along with that, traction for your feet. We have micro spikes. Micro spikes in and of themselves are like little baby crampons. If you don't need your snowshoes because the trail is packed enough, but you still need to have traction, you can use these, and these will work for you. You simply put them on your boots, slide them on, and you can. Okay, our ice picks, it's really scary. Less than 1% of people carry ice picks when they're out here in the backcountry, especially if they're going across ice that may or may not be safe. Think about it. If you're alone, and you shouldn't travel alone, you should always be with a buddy. You have no way to get out of the water. You have no purchase point if you have no ice picks. It's just a thought. Maybe you should carry them. I do.